What's up, fighting game fans? Welcome to EX Saturdays, the show where we talk about the Midwest fighting game community scene and keep you up to date on all the recent fighting game news. I'm NT.
I'm Dynamite.
I'm Hamjams.
And I'm
We
Seph.
got Seph back, like always. Yeah, sorry, Seph, but yeah.
Okay.
Seph is going to be reoccurring every once in a while. It's mainly when he feels like it. But
I mean, it's primarily like if you guys ask, and if there's no guest.
Well, I think we have to say we like you, Seph. But what's up, Seph? What's good?
Yeah.
What's good?
Not much, man. Just glad to be on the stream. Streaming for you guys, and glad to be on the show once again, as always.
So this week we're going to be talking about a couple different things, some heavy things, and some really meta fighting game thoughts. So we want to recap LKO Week 2 that was last night. Want to talk about a article that Dynamite himself has brought up that talks heavily about the fighting game mindset. We also really want to talk about the combo breaker cancellation and our thoughts on it, as well as recapping Haohmaru now that he's dropped and talking about Djeeta's trailer.
Yeah.
So first things first, let's get into LKO Week 2. What do you guys think about LKO Week 2? I think it went just as well as Week 1, if not better. Attendance was down by a little bit, but I think the matches were still as pristine as they were in Week 1.
Yeah, and there was like plenty more viewership on it as well, which was really cool.
Yeah, how was the viewership on Granblue's end? Because I saw it was peaking around like 100 consistently.
Yeah, it capped off around 103, I believe.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Yeah,
Yeah,
in terms of relative viewership, yeah. Go ahead, Dan.
No, I was just gonna say it was nice to see. Not only was viewership higher, but their players, for the most part, everybody came back to play. So that was nice to see as well. It's always a good feeling when there's there are a group of people who they really like what you do after Week 1 and they come back for Week 2, because online tournaments are not something that we've really kind of cut our teeth on for LowKick. I mean, we did a lot of obviously locals and monthlies, and we streamed at some of the larger events in the Midwest, but online was something that we wanted to do, but we just never really had the time to, because we were always focusing on when's the next in-person event going to happen. So
a new frontier.
Yeah, exactly. So when you see players return, it really does feel pretty good. I got to give a shout out to the team, because most of the time either I'm running my mouth on the mic or I'm just in the background playing free safety, but Seph, NT, and Hamjams, as well as Ryan and the rest of the team, do a fantastic job. So shout outs to all of you guys for making things seem really easy when it's really not.
There's like 12 people in the Discord call, man.
I think we've adapted really well to online being our first time around, because we actually have a lot of good examples around us, like Boominati, Wednesday Night Fights, NLBC. All those guys have been running their weeklies for a week or two ahead of us, and so it's easy to adapt off their styles.
Yeah, especially the ones that have been built strictly around the online scene, like RSF and like Ronin Rumble. Those examples,
yeah, Ronin Rumble especially.
Ideal examples for us to be able to adapt and pick little pieces from and try to do them justice. So we do have a lot of sources of inspiration, and like Ham said and like Dan said, it is just a large crew or a pocket crew trying their best to make the ship sail smoothly, and sometimes it gets chaotic, but at least for you guys as viewers and players and spectators, it's an optimal experience, and we work really hard
with the exception of Street Fighter 5.
Look, man, look. All right. Why do you have to okay, I have the real short end of the stick on the whole, because it's Street Fighter 5 and CFN is one. Oh,
yeah, I mean, he was
the same way we say Smash
streaming Street Fighter 5 while simultaneously
commentating
it. Yeah, while also commentating.
So I'm out of the call. So whenever I have to communicate with you guys, I have to pull away from commentary and shout outs to Saint Cola, man. The Saint Cola, the god. The
baseball commentary.
The baseball commentary. I had him the radio host commentary, because what happened was while I'm trying to run logistics and stuff, St. Cola would be able to fill that downtime, and be able to talk about it. But also CFN sucks balls and like just would straight up go down in the middle of the match, and I as a spectator would get kicked out. I as the important spectator would get kicked out, and the match would still be going. And St. Cole's like, I'm watching the match, so and I'm like, all right, St. Cole, you just run it, baseball commentary, radio commentary, let's go, and he nailed it. So I was just like, thanks, man. Yeah. We talked about it afterwards. I was just like, hopefully that's a skill for you if you want to use that in the reel, or it's just audio. I don't know.
Yipes definitely did that in his commentary reel back in the day. It's like, if the game audio goes out, don't worry. And he's in there like,
I feel it's so weird how the infrastructure for net play is built really, really, like, it's all set up well with Street Fighter V, but none of it executes because of the netcode stuff. I feel like in terms of lobby systems, maybe like ArcSys does it a little bit better, but
ArcSys does it incredibly well with the cabs and everything. I'm always like, hey, how's it going? Talking to Chris Chaos, and he's like, oh man, the match is running smooth. I'm good. I'm just chilling, watching people play on the cab. Like, it's super buttery smooth when it comes to the cab setups for ArcSys. As far as running the tournament. So yeah, I hope other developers take a look into that and kind of pull that in. But
a big note I want to point on that one is that the streamer does not have to individually invite people. You just give the players you need on stream the lobby info and the password, they join themselves. So the streamer never has to take their eyes away from what's going on in the match to invite people. Like, I know Seph and Free Hectic Chase, our other streamer, have to do that between every single match. Find out their PSN or their CFN, go to the invite screen, and it's just a big pain.
But I mean, it isn't too bad when you have a co-commentator that's like able to help you out, and when CFN just gives you a lot of downtime to get some other stuff done. So, but like Dan was saying, like, ArcSys has their lobby systems really set up well, and I hope that other developers kind of take that. And then also with some of the online infrastructure that CFN builds, where it's just like easy communication, easy invites, like you have that name. Because one of the main issues that we were also having, I think in week 1, was synchronizing the PlayStation names to the Discord names to like the other names that possibly.
Yeah, actually, that was still an issue.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, for MK, because not everyone understood that they needed to change their name to their PSN name, but there was also the other issue of that their Smash name did not coincide with their PSN name.
Oh, yeah,
so I would see one like player X, but then I have tag Y. It's like, are these the same person?
Yeah.
Who is this?
Yeah.
And so I actually went and resorted to a notepad. I just had everyone give me your PSN, and then I wrote their tag in Discord or Smash, and then their PSN, so I would never forget.
I think the more that we do this, the more we're going to familiarize ourselves with these players too. So it's going to be less of an issue because we'll remember them. It's still going to be annoying if they continue it, maybe, or just like a little bit cumbersome. But it's not going to be as big of a deal as time goes on, because we'll know you guys and. We'll like you guys.
It's just like locals. It takes a minute for us to recognize faces and tags, and once we see you after a while, we'll get you down.
Yeah, we'll get you. Oh man, yeah. I would say week 2 went really well in comparison to. I mean, week 1 still went pretty well considering our first online appearance.
So let's give a shout out to our winners right quick. So for MK, we had Cosmic taking first place over LK Shady, then Dylan Lloyd taking third place over on the Street Fighter side. Let me pull this up right quick. I know we had T-Bola winning Granblue. So it looks like Just a Kid took first place again over Underscore, and Random High Fives taking third place. Yep. So Just a Kid and Underscore getting first and second again, respectively. So shout outs to those guys. T-Bola, Macho, and Callisto. Callisto got third?
Callisto got third.
Yo, Callisto out there getting it.
Yo, Callisto. Ooh, he was looking crispy. I was like, damn.
I mean, them Katarina Fuzis, man. You just mash 2M, buffer it into EX Fireball.
Yo, what's the appeal of 2M?
It's
you gotta watch.
Talk about that. Okay.
No.
2M is a button. Okay, 2M buffering 2M into EX Fireball is just a risk-free thing. You can just do it in neutral, no problem, and that's how cats do it. And the thing is, like, with Cat 2, her anti-air, it's one of the better anti-airs in the game. So like when you're jumping in on it and you like don't read that she's already crouching ready for your jump in and you eat that counter hit, that's massive damage. Katarina has such great tools. So I'm not really surprised. Congratulations to all the top 3 for them, but I'm not surprised. I mean, top 3. Not only is he's pretty talented in himself, but Catalina's a fantastic character.
One of the best things.
He's finna get nerfed, bro.
Just to wrap up Callisto's play is one of the things that I liked the most that he did was the standing dodge buffer he did on Macho's Lancelot. That was
that was super
scramble
good.
like that. That was super good. So yeah, shout outs to Callisto for taking top or third place. It was pretty impressive play. He was looking mad crispy.
Streamer and player.
Yeah.
When you get third, you get to say you're a player.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh,
for sure.
I got third in Sam's show one week. Am I a player?
No.
I've won a local. I'm flexing.
Okay. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about T-Bola sitting on the first place. I didn't get to glimpse the stream so much, but T-Bola runs
Yo, dude, that was crazy.
I mean, he runs Luane, but he was running Grand for most of top 8, and that Grand Finals. Okay, so let me break it down to you. What happened was he faced Macho in Winners Finals and in Grand Finals. He played Percival actually in Winners Finals against Macho, and Macho was piecing him up hard body. Like, it was incredible. It was 2-0. Macho was hitting him with the Lancelot air dash, the air unique mix, go behind, go low.
The mix, the left, right.
And at one point, it just occurred because T-Bola, almost every time T-Bola was going for the 2H, trying to anti-air with Percival. And Percival, has the long sword or whatever, but his 2H, Macho and the character and the player themselves make people whiff that 2H all the time because of that air unique. And in the third game, T-Bola decided, you know what? I'm not going to go for 2H anymore. I'm not going to go for the crouching heavy. I'm just going to standing light when he lands.
And it worked every time.
Because it worked every time.
All he did was stick that little hand out. He's
mash.
Every landing. And he's like, well, I beat you every time. Clean. Every time he dived in, 5
really, I've been watching a lot of Japanese Granblue. That's really all they do. They just mash. Anytime he tries to do left-right mix-up, they just mash.
Yeah, and that's actually something Djeeta mentioned. There was a Japanese Granblue tournament of every other fighting game team. That was a hilarious tournament. Yeah, the 3-on-3 was who was it? BB Tag that won?
No. It was Melty Blood. Melty Blood is undefeated. He ain't losing with a team with Goichi on it.
I remember I was watching the Guilty Gear team versus someone, and Djeeta was obviously commentating because he handles all the English commentary for Japanese tournaments. And every time there was a Lancel player, he'd be like, "Yo, every time they hit JU, just hit it light. Just hit light. Just don't respect this man. Just disrespect this man on everything he does."
Yeah.
And he was right every single time. That's all they would do is hit 5L.
Macho's one of those characters where, like, once he understands like his weakness has been revealed, then he has a difficult time trying to like reincorporate new stuff, especially that late into Winners Finals and that late. Like once T-Bola started figuring things out, it was just gonna be downward spiral for Macho. But congrats.
Yeah, the most integral game is game 3, because if you're up 2 and you lose game 3, that's a huge momentum shift.
It is. It was just the answers that it was like T-Bola found the answer, but it was a little too late, because just because you find an answer against Macho doesn't mean like you auto win, right? Like you still have to, you still have to beat the player. And
I can attest to that for sure.
Yeah, so but T-Bola pushed it to 2-2. He pushed it to the final game.
Okay.
Macho threw out some different looks at him, kind of weathered the storm, and moved into grand finals. Then T-Bola had to wait, obviously, to play losers finals. He actually played losers finals as Luane. And after that, he came back to grand finals, picked the captain, and I'm telling you, after game 1, like, he brought the answers from, like, imagine having the answers as Percival and then coming back with grandstanding light. And it was just like every time the boots were flying. After game 1, like I was saying on commentary, after game 1, my man's just went full gorilla. He took off the shirt, took off the hoodie.
He hit the whole
bare chest. Yeah, he was bare chest,
wearing nothing but Timbs.
If I wish we had a boot counter on stream just to see how many connected.
Yo, we got
Ryan,
how
many
boot
Tims
counter?
we got?
No, don't worry, I'll take care of it. Just for that set, I'll take care.
Yeah, boot counter. We're gonna need a boot counter.
We need a boot counter. Like,
yo, that was looking. Oh my god, dude! Like, you don't want to say that it was looking kind of free, but it was like, oh my god, this man ripped his shirt off, gorilla pressed this man, and made gorilla biscuits in the dough. That was ridiculous. I was like, god damn.
It was rough. It was rough, but you know what? Shout outs to I enjoy seeing when players find answers in tournament because it's like a good martial arts movie or something, you know, where you see the person adapting as the fight is going on, or even if they lose the first fight, like later on in the movie, they come back to fight the same person. Yeah, man, it's wild.
I also want to take a moment to shout outs to Dylan Lloyd over on the MK side because he actually made a really good run versus second week. He met up with Shady rather early, and I want to say Shady bopped him last week, but Dylan Lloyd actually knocked Shady into losers this time. He counterpicked Scorpion with Sub-Zero, and we could tell that Shady got very upset by that.
Yo, did you see that knee?
Yeah, dude, he was tilted pretty hard, but Shady, being, you know, the top MK player that he is, he was able to recompose himself through losers and come back into second place. He actually did beat Dylan Lloyd back on the loser side. Where was it? It was the losers finals, actually, and he 3-0'd him. So Shady definitely found the answer.
He adapted.
Yeah. But I still want to give that shout out because he did make an impressive run compared to last week. And Cosmic... Yeah, I'm not too familiar with the MK community, but I don't know if Cosmic played last week. You know, again, congrats to him for making first place because he beat, it's like 2 or 3 of our best people, being Shady and Bacon Lord. Yeah. Also, GGA's Max. All those guys didn't make it as well as they wanted to.
I only get to see like glimpses of tournament matches because of the fact that, you know, I'm like jumping from one to the other. But man, like MK was looking crispy. Shady got thrown like 50 times. I was like, damn, Shady, you got to tech them throws. Every time he woke up, another throw. I was like, damn, they don't care.
They
and Dylan Lloyd doing full screen flying kick all day. He did not care. People in the chat like, this dude is just playing Russian roulette and he does not care. How do you play into that matchup?
Yeah, someone in chat literally said he's got a roulette wheel next to him.
Like when you're full screen and it's like, and he did it. Like he's already doing it. He's already doing full screen flying kick. He spends a crushing blow round start. You're like, damn. That's something, because like, you know, it's like super unsafe. That move has been super unsafe since MK. Like, and he's still just doing it full screen. I loved it.
Wild. But Seph, did you see anything on the Street Fighter side that you want to make note of? Any shout outs?
I did see a lot of stuff. Big shout outs to Random High Fives for believing in the Sagat up until it wasn't working, because it wasn't working. And then trying to make the switch to Honda against Just a Kid over in the Losers Finals. That was pretty bonkers. I was really, really excited to see Random High Fives pull out like all the stops and his... Really, he just has a cool character roster. He's got Zangief, Sagat, and Honda, and like watching him try to play all 3 of those characters at that tournament was awesome. When it did work, it worked really, really well. Shout outs to Underscore having really strong, consistent play all throughout. Senkola and I were mostly just making fun of him because he's a level 99 Cammy. We'd never seen that before. But, you know, that man's online grinding. he's on there grinding.
Who was it that was playing ranked during the bracket?
Dude, yeah,
so
man.
I think it was it Just a Kid?
No, it was Underscore.
Because it was Underscore.
It was time for his match, and he was like, "Of course, I got a ranked match right as my match starts." I was like, "This is basically ranked. Like, what are you doing? Don't kill him.
He can't quit.
He can't quit. He's actually addicted. He's actually addicted. He can't quit. The game doesn't work."
I'm gonna queue up for this match, but I gotta get these points real quick. Hold on.
Let me get these points.
Yo, guys, hold my match for just a second. I gotta get these points. You know, I need that top 1 spot. He got the level 99. That's already bonkers. He needs that number 1. All right, rank 1. But,
is he number 1 Cammy?
He starts the tournament as Ultra Diamond, comes back mid-tournament as Grandmaster.
Comes back as Warlord. It's like, damn, dude, what are you doing?
I think he's been bouncing up and down between number 1 Cammy, but if he isn't, now, then he's like second best cam in the world. You know,
Yo, that man needs to stop just
All
throwing
that.
those EX drills. He's killing me.
Well, his
Every
EX
time
drills.
he EX drills, I feel ham like.
Oh!
Yeah. He did one actually the tournament losing EX drill.
Yup, he did a tournament losing EX drill. I was like, this man's got pressure. He's getting opened up. He's about to get cooked.
It was
EX
really,
drill.
It was smart on Just the Kid's end to know. I felt like he knew that he wanted to EX drill.
He neutral jumped it. Because he knew.
No, he didn't neutral jump it. He just walked backwards. He just like walked a little bit to mess up the spacing, and then he basically EX drilled himself out of the corner into the side switch, but also into death. You know, so it was really, really smart. That last grand final set between Just the Kid and Underscore was such a that was mean. That was bad. But you know, Seph is looking really strong, especially in the hands of Just a Kid. So looking.
Are we aware right now as to what Seph looks like in like competitive offline environment, or are we just like chilling on that right now? Because the only thing I've seen is locals, and obviously Just a Kid's just like a caliber above a lot of people, so he's going to win with characters that maybe aren't that good.
Seph
but
is
I don't know.
going to struggle against the characters that are like definitively top, like Rashid, like Urian, like characters that can basically, like Bison, even characters that can basically activate V trigger, and then you just have to hold down back until it's over, right?
You got to hold down back, and then you got to guess.
Because Seth isn't like that. Seth is more or less just like St. Cola was talking about it earlier this week when he was on no, not next level. He was on Wednesday Night Fat. Shout out to that. But he was saying how when Seth activates V-Trigger, Seth just gets more damage. But Seth's game plan is still relatively the same. So it's like Seth is going to find their way in, whether it be like a Tatsu through a fireball into some big damage, or it's going to be something like, you know, utilizing the plus frames. Like the game plan is still very much the same. But the damage is just bonkers from any conversion. Like any minor thing. What was he doing? He would do like jab into aura into activate, and then it was just like you didn't think he was dead because he was basically like 30 HP. That man was dead. Like Just a Kid's conversion, Just a Kid's combos are like really, really crisp, and or at least like it might just be Seth. It's probably not Just a Kid. I'm giving him too much credit. That kid plays with hamsters in his router. Okay, so but he does
kicking the router?
He does though. He does though.
It's like whenever we see minors like missteps in the connection, we just imagine Just a Kid like throwing a water bottle at the hamsters. We're just like, hey, you know, and then the game resumes. It's really funny. But no, shout outs to him. Shout outs to Seth. Shout outs to Capcom for making CFN. You guys are great. But you know, we had a relatively smooth tournament outside of that. It was fun. We had some really exciting matches. The matches we did get on stream, but it was really, really exciting. And I had a lot of fun commentating with St. Cola. I'm sure the players had a lot of fun seeing all this goonery and buffoonery from Just a Kid, from Underscore, and from
CFN.
From CFN. Yep. Yeah. Oh, CFN, the biggest gorilla, dude. Unblockable.
I do want to give a shout out to LK Jax. He does do recaps for all of our weeklies. He has week 1 out on his Twitter. He's working on week 2's recaps, so give him a follow, give him a shout out for doing that work. Because like if you guys can't watch us, you know, do these recaps every single week, he'll do a 1.5 to 2 minute video recap telling you everything that you need to know.
Yeah, you know, like we're like the
voice from Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
Yo. The what do you call it? You know, like back in the day, the Tekken World Tour, Sajam, it was like Sajam, Rip, and like one other person each week. They would break down what was going on in the Tekken World Tour. That shit was like 2 hours. It was good. They would like go through match footage and stuff like that, and like you could tell it wasn't that well coordinated because like they'd be talking and then they're like, and we have a match on stream that we're watching right now, and like suddenly they're talking about it. But it was really good if you missed the tournament because you got to see like the highlights of it. But Jackson does a good job making it concise so that it's digestible, whereas we can just talk about it because, you know, we got the time, right?
Yeah, it's pretty compact.
Yeah.
The way that Jackson words this.
I missed the Tekken World Tour recaps, though, like a lot.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I missed the Tekken World Tour, but that's a whole other thing.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Sign-ups are up for week 3, right, NT?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It should be up right now. If not, it will be live sometime this weekend, very, very shortly. And if you guys are unaware, the cutoffs do close 2.5 hours to 2 hours before the start of the matches. So you have an entire week to sign up. So don't say, hey, why does it close this time? You have 7 days. But yeah, there's the link right there. So you guys can sign up right now. And big shout outs to the Skullgirls community because we have now added that into week 3. And we're going to have special guest appearances as commentators from Kai Kennedy, the voice of Beowulf, and Mike Z, the creator of Skullgirls himself.
Yeah, that's tight.
Yo, this man's gonna be on commentary talking about this is what rollback netcode gets you. Look at it, bitch.
Yo, popping off.
He's gonna be popping off. He's gonna poke into the Street Fighter 5 stream and be like, "Fucking look at this
I
shit."
swear to God, that
Looks like CFN is down again.
Oh, that's gonna be the
man.
roughest thing to like know that Skullgirls is just going buttery smooth, and I'm like watching a black screen.
Yeah, you're commentating your dreams.
Yeah, exactly.
But on that note, I do want to give a big shout out to the Skullgirls community because Mr. Kick Ryan did put out a poll as to what game we should bring in, and Skullgirls has been coming out incredibly strong every single time.
Yeah, and it was like against really good contenders. Like our other options were like Samurai Showdown,
Man, my Sam
Dragon
show.
Ball. Yeah, I know, man. I know.
Yeah, it was 80 plus votes, and I think the next highest was somewhere like 50. So it won
Tekken
by a
7
very
did.
big margin.
Tekken
So
7 made a fight.
We're gonna have 80 Skullgirls players then.
We better have 80
no,
Skullgirls
that's
players.
not at all what that means. No.
Yo, clip it
Are
right
there
now.
still 80 plus Skullgirls players
We're
outside
gonna
of
clip
Combo
this
Breaker?
right now, and we're gonna say this is the time.
Yeah. Okay.
Show
all right.
up, play Skullgirls. You have the opportunity. It's gratis. It's free. All you gotta do is play the game.
You guys voted.
Just gotta
okay.
play it. It's like
You did-
12 cents on Steam, brother.
You
What
aren't
do you-
exactly. It probably is. You may not have been Midwest. You're probably not even going to participate in the LowKick Online tournament. You don't even know who LowKick is, but you voted in that poll. Now's the time for Skullgirls to make an appearance. Okay, we're running your game.
I have to do it for him. Go! Now is the time!
Now is the time to choose.
Yeah, we'll see,
It
man.
is.
Because it beat Sam Show, it beat Dragon Ball, it beat Tekken.
It beat Tekken. Tekken is weird because like we've reached out to Tekken before and like, hey, do you guys have any interest doing online tournaments? They're like, hell no.
Yeah,
And then
because-
they all voted for Tekken, and it's like, do you want to play in this online tournament?
Well,
do you-
'cause remember, you're talking to Tekken players. Tekken players only play Tekken, and they only play Tekken offline.
It's true. It's like that's such a weird. That's like I think that's a unique thing about specifically. I think 3D games are like that, where they're just like, we just want really bad to play our games offline. We don't care
That's true. Yeah. That's
because like I don't know what it is. Because like anime players, they say it. You know, they say like, oh, we everybody prefers to play offline, obviously, but anime players are like, but we're gonna net play this lobby regardless. But if you talk to somebody in Tekken, like, yo, it's like hit them up. It's like in the Discord, yo, you trying to get some games in? They're like, no, dude. Like,
It's because Arc 6 lobbies are so cool. You have the avatar, you get to walk around to the cab, you get to be chill, you get to do push-ups, you get to do some other weird stuff, man. Like weird stuff you can't really talk about. But it's really cool, man. You know, I love Granblue's lobby system. I don't like Strive's lobby system, but I like Granblue's lobby system. It looks really cool. But
So
that's-
yeah, 80 Skullgirls players incoming for LKO next week.
Yeah.
We
yep,
better-
consider it done.
Yeah.
And they all gotta be from the Midwest too.
Yeah, they're all from the Midwest. Yeah, they're all going to participate in LKO because you know they did the poll.
They voted for it.
They voted for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the rules.
Now's
And
the time.
since we were talking about
Now's the
offline,
time
I
to
do want to transition into our depressing point of today, and that we
yeah.
finally got word from the Hado and that Combo Breaker has been officially canceled, and that all refunds will be going out to every player who has registered. And if you would like, you have the option to DM the Hado or hit up the Combo Breaker email and say, hey, please keep my registration, which I myself did. I want the Hado to be able to come back in 2021 as strong as ever, because if Combo Breaker dies, then I don't know what the FGC will become.
Yeah, what is cool is that he revitalized it by having it like an online store. So now he has like merch that's going to stay there long term. You can
Yep.
go on to Combo Breaker. I think it's combobreaker.org. They have the shop there. They have all the merch. There's like a token where it's like a pay what you want type thing. So
Yeah, it's an arcade token.
yeah. So you can set your own price for it to basically donate however much you want to it. But yeah, man, it was really upsetting news to hear it. I mean, we kind of
We knew it was gonna happen, but we didn't want it to happen.
Yeah, just because you feel it in your bones doesn't mean that you want it to be real, right? Like all you can do is brace for impact, and I don't think anybody was actually prepared. Like it feels bad.
It feels bad.
I cried. I legit cried. Like I was hurt, man. I did not want it to happen. I knew it was gonna happen, but it's different when it actually hits. To me, it was kind of like the last straw type of thing, was like all this other bad shit's going on, and even though you're like, this might be getting canceled, it was that one kind of beacon of hope, and the cancellation of it, which is completely understandable, by the way. Like obviously this situation is all kinds of fucked up, so I get it, but it's just like when that one last kind of like ray of hope fades away, and it's like, nope, you're in the darkness.
Yeah, you were reaching out. You're like,
please. We have been sent into the shadow realm officially. Yeah. We are in the FGC shadow realm where nothing exists anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like, the thing is, it's not like other stuff can't crop up by the end of the year, but like us as Midwest people, that's like our home, and we love that the most, because that's like, everybody, I think globally, has said, oh, this is one of the best run tournaments in the world.
Yeah.
And then it's like right there. And we get to all hang out as a family and gather and cheer for each other. Like, you're watching your mans go up on stream. It's the first 3 matches of the day. It's round 1, just like the start of the bracket, and he's mixing somebody with some left, rights, and BB tag. You're like, hell yeah, fuck him up. Yeah. And he's some random dude from like Jersey. You don't care. You're like, yo, you're trash. Let's go.
Yeah.
You're just ripping them apart. And it's like, we have that because we're right there. And then it's like, to lose it feels so much worse, because now, like, I remember I went to CEO, and I saw somebody from Chicago playing at CEO, and I was like, hell yeah. And somebody turned around and looked at me, and they're like, shut the fuck up. Shut up. And I was like, damn. I'm alone.
Combo breaker, baby.
Yeah, and combo breaker is especially the best, because I'm pretty sure last year was actually my first official combo breaker since it became combo breaker. I went to UFGT 10, which, is now combo breaker. And one of my favorite things was just something, and it was almost trivial, but it was watching Tekken and Poke Chop on the side just going, yo, I got $1 on this guy for this round.
Dude, and like, I have lost so much money to Poke Chop, bro.
Like 25, 30 people like, yo, I got that guy. And, they put the dollar out, they shake hands, and like, they go, fuck, I lost. Yo, run it back. Run it back. And like, all right, let's go. Shake on it again. It's like, fuck, I lost it. Yo, one more time, run it back. All or nothing.
The best part is that combo breaker last year, I was watching Tekken, and obviously, I'm gonna be watching Tekken, and I'm betting Poke Chop like it's crazy. And Tasty Steve and Mark, man, I went to watch the VODs later, are like, are they betting over there? It's like, no, we don't do that. And you can clearly see me handing him money. Damn. I was in the front row.
Oh man, it's such an experience that, look, if you can, just please go ahead and either buy some merch from the Combo Breaker store. The merch is sick. I wish I could afford some of it, because let me tell you, last year I spent way too much money. I won't say it because Rick will probably, be like, yo, you shouldn't be spending that kind of money.
Yo, you're looking like one of those water bottle holders.
For no reason. But if you can, please consider allowing the CB team to keep your registration fees. And, just, it's such a great tournament, and they do as much as they can to make it a tournament experience that you will never forget. So shout outs to Lord Hado and his entire team, because it's not just Rick, it's the whole team. They work so hard. And
some of those people are from here.
Yeah,
and some of those people,
that is Chicago family.
And a lot of those people were from the Chicagoland area, and then they just moved. Like, obviously Curly W's in there every day talking about, like, he's in every Chicago stream ever, and random other streams at the same time. I've proved it. I had 3 streams open at once. He was in Nerd Josh's stream. Well, at the same time, a LowKick stream was going on. Well, at the same time, another stream was going on. He was in all 3.
Yeah, and then
Curly W is not actually a human. He's an amalgamation of beans.
Yeah. Beans. And then one bean goes off into the Jackbox stream while another bean goes off to play Animal Crossing with us. Dude, he's everywhere. He is everywhere. And he's in every single Discord. If you make a Discord, Curly W's
already
some
there
point.
before the Discord servers even finished being made.
Yeah, exactly. He already joined it. But no, hey, please, man. Let's talk about like, not that Combo Breaker is like, let's stay optimistic about Combo Breaker. What are your biggest memories from Combo Breaker? NT, you shared yours from UGC 10.
Yeah, so with what Dan said of spending money, my first it was my first Combo Breaker last year, and I dropped, I think, probably $350 to $400 just over that weekend, and a lot of that was the merch. Like, if you guys have not seen the Combo Breaker merch, that is some beautiful merch. Yeah, I was gonna grab my bomber jacket. Maybe Ham has his, but everything about it is what do you want to say, Dan?
No, I was just saying, can we throw a link in the
chat? There's that bomber jacket. Dude, look how sick that bomber jacket is. That's like $120 jacket. But I'm like, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to spend the money on that jacket. It is so tight.
I'm so mad I didn't pick it up. Like, I just was like, I don't need another jacket. I have a bunch of them. And then like a week later, I was seeing Ham and NT rock theirs at locals, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, dude. I immediately bought that shit. I bought that. I bought the poster. The poster it fell off the wall because it's so damn big. It's so big, it can't even be supported.
Here we go.
But they got good hats. Yo, they got good hats. They got good t-shirts. And Combo Breaker, Lord Hado, if you can hear this in the depths of Minnesota, just sell it all year, bro. I'm buying it.
Yeah.
Combo Breaker merchandise is one of the few pieces of merchandise from a tournament that you can wear. Like, he makes seasonal attire, but it's like you buy it all there at once. I would love to drop, $20-$30 at a time on t-shirts, because Combo Breaker is a brand. Combo Breaker is not just a tournament. It's a brand that you can wear whenever you want. That shit looks crispy, brother. There's a Combo Breaker shirt that's maroon, and it literally just has Combo Breaker in the bottom left.
I got it. Let me find it.
It's just like, it just has Combo Breaker in the bottom left corner, and it's like, damn, that shirt is fucking hot. That is such a hot shirt. It's tiny, and it's still good.
Yeah, it's really good. I got some work related, about to get hit with the COVID token, so I can't really drop some money right now. But as soon as I figure it out, if there's merch available by the end of the month or in May, I'm buying some stuff. I got the flannel, looks mad nice this year. Mad nice. And here's the thing. I already spent like $250 buying registration merch, but then the merch shop came out. Now I gotta buy some more. It's just
because you get the lanyard with your name on it, or the registration badge with your name on it. Because that
but if you really made it, instead of it saying your name, it'll say talent.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Well. We didn't.
Well.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm just saying. You asked, like, hey, what are your favorite memories from that tournament? And mine, I can say, is still to this day when I got my first stick, because I was drunk. And that's what people do at Combo Breaker, man. Like, you go on 2, you get cooked, and then you're like, well, what do I do for the next 3 days? I didn't go 0-2, by the way. Not the year that I competed. The first year, I did not compete. I just spectated. But never gone 0-2. Never in my life. Probably not true, but anyway, I was at a what do you call it? I was drinking some Jack because, like, security was just like, whatever, man. Like, they saw me walk in with this giant bottle of Jack, and I'm just slamming it. And some dude's like, yo, let me get some of it. And it was one of the security guys. He's like, yo, can I bum a square? So then we go outside, I start smoking. I just smoked. I'm super drunk. The cigarette's not helping at all. And then some dude started speaking Portuguese, and he saw me with a regular controller in my hand because I was a scrub and I didn't know to bring a backpack to tournaments, like, at all. So I just had my pad in one hand, and he's telling me in Portuguese I shouldn't play on pad, I should play on stick. And he's just translator to the other side, translating it so I understand. And I'm just like, I don't even know where you're from, man. Like, what the hell is happening? And he's like, go buy a stick right now. And I was working at Jewel Osco. I had $170 in my bank account. I walked up to Gaming Generation's booth and was like, ugh. And I had a bottle of Jack and a pad, and I was like, can I buy a stick? And he goes, dude, are you all right? And I was just like, I just need the stick right now. and
just give me
he was like,
stick.
yeah, exactly. And he was like, all right, man, that'll be however much it was. And I definitely didn't have enough. And I was like, can I get a discount? And he goes, no, dude. And I was like, what if I told you this is my first tournament? And he goes, definitely no, dude. And I was like, what if I told you I'd come back? And he's like, still no, man. We're everywhere. And I was like, I'm a veteran? And he's like, all right, man, I got you. The last of my money depleted with that arcade stick, with tax. I actually went like 50 cents under in my bank account. And I just walked around that tournament for 3 days, driving home each day to shower 45 minutes with an arcade stick in the box with no knowledge as to how to use it. It was great. And I just watched Tekken and it was hype. And it was a great time.
This was last year?
No, yeah, this was last year.
This was last year?
No, it was not last year.
Oh, this was
Couldn't have
2018.
been last
It had
year.
to have been 2018.
Yeah.
2018.
Okay.
Yeah, 2018.
Was last.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think for me, my favorite. Wow. So many to choose from. I think for me, my favorite combo breaker memory is watching Goichi versus Sonic Fox for Dragon Ball.
Dang.
That was the first year that it dropped. And this was after final round where Sonic Fox got murdered, like on stream by Goichi, and then murdered in the first to 10. And this was like everyone was like, I don't know, man. I don't know how this is gonna turn out.
Looking kind of free.
Yeah, and the whole room doing the Spirit Bomb for Sonic Fox was sick. When he won, that was sick. I actually popped off. There's a picture of him winning. The picture by Vexene, I believe.
Oh, Vex.
Yeah.
Seph Langrid.
Yeah. Shout outs to her. She's legendary with the photos.
Yeah.
But there's a picture.
How's she getting all those shots?
I have no idea.
Dude, I don't know.
She can fly or something because the angles that she grabs is incredible. But there's a picture of Sonic Fox popping off after he won winners finals, I think it was. And there's one person in the background like this. That's me.
Oh, yeah.
Standing up of the whole crowd. That's me. I felt that match so much. That was probably my favorite memory. As far as watching a match, I'd say outside of that, running back into Tasty Steve at Combo Breaker after meeting him at Frosty, and he actually remembered who I was. That was my second favorite memory because I was like, he's not gonna.
Dude, yeah, Tasty Steve has a wicked memory. He did the same.
Yo,
thing for
Tasty
me.
Steve never forgets,
He never
man.
forgets, dude.
Doesn't.
Yeah, especially when you're impressionable, Dan. Come on, man. But
I don't know, man. I don't know. I was just like, I mean, think about how many people that dude know, like meets at tournaments all the time. Like,
He has to know tens of thousands of people.
Yeah.
so I met him at Combo Breaker 2019. I met him I took a picture with him at Combo Breaker 2018. I saw him again to Combo Breaker 2019. I saw him again later that year at Evo, and he was like, "Good to see you, man." I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's good to see you too. How you enjoying?" I said, "How you enjoying the convention?" Because we were in like the convention part of Evo, and he's like, "It's not a convention, man. This is a tournament." And I was just like, "You're right. You're right."
Damn, Tasty
And then
Steve.
I saw him again at Frosty Faustings this year, and he was like, "You got the hair. You're growing your hair out." And I was like, "Jesus, oh my God." He like remembers me. That was wicked. So Tasty Steve, like big shout outs to him.
Shout outs to Tasty Steve.
Yeah.
Every time, like between him and Yipes, they're usually together whenever I've seen them.
Yeah.
And them definitely just completely cooked the Frosties. That was great. But every time I've seen them, I've had Jack, like a giant bottle of Jack. So the reason they remember me is because I get them trashed.
Oh my God.
That's it. They're like, oh, it's that guy. Yo, you got it? I reach in the Kwamba bag. I'm like, you already know me.
He's just got it on
They
hand.
just know you as the Jack. They don't even know your name. Yo, that's the Jack guy,
That's the
right?
Jack guy, dude.
Tasty
Always
Steve
got it.
knows my name. Yipes definitely does not.
It's
But that's
kind of
okay.
like kind of like how Pico de Guile is the tamale guy at Frosty Frostings.
Yo,
and Combo
He
Breaker.
is.
Yeah,
But
he's
those
the guy.
tamales are fire, dude.
Yeah, those are fire, dude. Yeah, I thought that he made him. I'll still leave the illusion up, yeah. But
so I wanna put one more note for Rick. Rick is actually the one handling all of this stuff, all your refunds, all your requests to keep registration. He is the one behind it. Like, he takes so much pride in Combo Breaker
Yes.
that he's literally the helm of it. It's not that he just organizes it and he has a team that does it. He is the one with the Eidolon doing all of this stuff. So
And
please
Curly W.
at least give him some respect and, you know, give him your kind words, because it does mean a lot to him hearing that from the community, especially after
Absolutely.
having such a heartbreaking cancellation.
yeah.
It hurt.
Absolutely. It hurt bad. But yeah, shout outs to the whole CP team. They're amazing. And one of the reasons why so many of us are still in the FGC is because of Combo Breakers. So here's to a successful, fantastic 2021. I can't wait. It's going to be incredible. People are going to be popping off left and right. So shout outs to you, Lord Hado, and your squad.
And be sure to watch the commemorative stream that they're going to have
Yes.
the days of, because they're going to be running some famous matches from the previous Combo Breakers to fill the time that Combo Breaker would have been going on. So there's going to be like a lot of streamers involved with that. I know Sajam's in part with it. He was on Sajam's podcast Jam Radio yesterday. I checked out the VODs on that. So there's a lot there if they're trying to provide something, because, you know, as Rick himself said, he's like, I believe in like a capitalist thing. If you guys paid for something, I want to deliver something to you. So, like, you know, he doesn't want to take donations. For example, he has the coin on the shop, or, you know, you paid to go to the event. At least they can have something to fill the gap while you wait for that to come back around, because it's going to be it's more than 365 days away, man.
And for anyone who did pre-order any merch like I did, I pre-purchased all the hoodies, the shirt, and everything. Those are still being fulfilled. So be patient on those. You don't have to go to the store and buy more merch unless you want to. By all means, please do, because again, all that is just going to help bring back Combo Breaker 2021.
Yep.
But to get away from this sad times, I do want to bring up an article that Dynamite did bring up. It is written by Patrick Miller. Here is the link to it, guys.
And Pat the Flip. Shout outs to Pat. Real quick before we start, I always remember Pat the Flip because one of my first time actually attending and Frosty was I was TOing and I did brackets for Guilty Gear, and I always got his name wrong. I always called him the other person he was playing, and he was like, "Bro, I'm Pat." And I'm like, "Damn, I'm really sorry, man. I won't forget it."
Forgets it again.
Immediately. Immediately. So shout out. He was really nice about it though. So I love Pat's writing about fighting games. He really brings a not only a veteran approach, but a very philosophical approach. I think all of his articles are great, but this one is especially meaningful as given the times that we're in. But just as a fighting game player in general, like if you want to improve at fighting games, take a gander at his Medium page, drop him a follow or a dono if you can, or hit up his Patreon. And he also does the Guilty Gear streams as well. So for beginners and all levels.
Oh, sick. Okay, cool. An actual Guilty Gear streamer. That's really
yeah. So to give you an overview of what this article is about, without reading you the entire thing, is it talks about how both a casual player and a person who wants to become a veteran player can improve on their style, and that's through a training mindset. Which, if you guys don't know what a training mindset, you know, this is the perfect time to now start reading this, and self-direction, as well as mainly just general perseverance and discipline. Dynamite, you know, this was your article that you wanted to bring up. I want to let you take lead of this. Is there anything in here you want to particularly highlight?
Yeah, so there are a couple of spaces that I would like to kind of highlight. The first one is how Pat differentiates fighting games from other competitive games, right? In the very beginning, he separates it from other games that are competitive. MOBAs are highly competitive. Card games are highly competitive. First-person shooters, highly competitive. But he separates them from fighting games in a couple of ways. And I think that distinction is really important. So, outside of card games, most other most other competitive games are team based, or a lot of them are. But fighting games have that unique sort of difference, and I always refer to it as like it's like singles tennis, right? Like if you screw up, there's no one else to blame, right?
Yeah.
Like you messed up. And so understanding that when you're approaching fighting games is important, because he uses this differentiation to start to filter out the things, why it's so important to focus not only on your physical routine but your mental routine. And I think that those are some important points, because he talks about how the difference between playing once a week for like 5 hours and playing 30 minutes a day for 3 to 5 times a week is incredibly important. And he says, it's better to do 30 minutes 3 times or 5 times a week than once a week for 5 hours. And the reason for that is because it allows your brain to continually work out a skill. And so any of us here who's done any kind of like physical, job or things like that, that at a certain point it becomes autopilot. Like you can do it while thinking about something completely else. Like it's
For
one
sure.
of those things. And that is the same thing with fighting games. And Pat goes through that. So I just think it's important for that part of it to recognize like rhythm and routine is really important, but also he speaks about your mentality approaching the game. And it's easier said than done. And I know I get caught up in it a lot. And a lot of other people that I've talked to have, but it's important when you're playing, especially now in an online environment, to look at how you're winning, right? And how you're losing, and focus on the fact that improvement is the goal.
Yeah.
Right? Obviously, if you're in a tournament, you want to win. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But even in the tournament setting, improvement is your mental goal. Like he clearly states, and I've heard this said time and time again by Pat, is that it's better to lose and learn something than to win without any improvement. Because by doing that, you're only delaying the improvement that you could have. If you're just winning, but you don't know why, and you're not really achieving any goals in the matches that you're winning, then you're just really delaying improvement, because eventually you're going to hit that wall and have to learn the lesson anyway. So yeah.
And I think that like in just general, like in that mindset, when you're just like, well, I need to learn to improve. That's why I think a lot of people have a hard time when they go to their locals and they're like really, really top players, because they go, well, I'm just going to smack like 95% of these people. And it's like, it feels like it's diminishing returns. Like they are high enough level where they, in their mind, they understand it's like, this is junk food for me. Sure, I'm winning, but what am I actually gaining from it? So then they have to tweak their play style so that they can go, well, what can I get out of this? How can I train myself to be better? Because this person is not good, but I can make my play tighter against them.
Yeah, I think that was one of the reasons when I was playing Tekken, and it was actually addressed like various points in the article. When I started playing Tekken, it was like the resources in game are non-existent.
They don't exist. They're not real.
They don't. Yeah, the game doesn't tell you how to play the game. The game
doesn't tell you where you need to space. The game doesn't tell you what button you need to press. The game doesn't even tell you what your strongest tools are.
The game tells you
what it does now.
It does now. But okay, so the thing
not really.
Not even really. Yeah, but so the game
you have to reverse engineer it, because they give you a list of the character's best buttons.
And that's actually exactly what Patrick was talking about in this article. You reverse engineer your play style through fighting games. And to wheel back to what Dynamite was saying about playing 5 hours versus 30 minutes, this is actually addressed in the article. It's something that I really like. An analogy is that your willpower is your HP, like your endurance to withhold any mental energy while doing a task is HP. So if your job is very mentally taxing, you're coming home with very little HP. So you can't spend 3-4 hours playing a fighting game, because after that first 30 minutes or an hour, you're no longer paying attention to what you're doing. It's just like working out.
Right.
If you're trying to work out for 2 hours doing bench presses, you're eventually going to drop down to a weight that's not even helping you anymore, because you just want to continue the repetition. And that's not helpful. So the actual passage that I want to read out loud right here from this is the HP. It's, for example, Practicing combos in training mode is more taxing for a new player than an experienced player because an experienced player is already accustomed to the process of troubleshooting their execution and altering their input timings by fractions of a second, and a new player who has to learn all that stuff in addition to the combo. That is exactly why you can't do things for more than 30 minutes to an hour. And even for veteran players, they can't do that. I've sat in training mode for 3 hours practicing a combo, and I guarantee you after 45 minutes, I wasn't paying attention to it. And
Yeah,
I've been
like-
playing fighting games for like 9-10 years now.
But it also does, the article does specifically say that doing these 30-minute drills and stuff like that does strengthen your autopilot to continue, like, to hold that mental XP, right? I mean, HP, right? Because, like, part of playing fighting games is understanding and strengthening your own autopilot, making it a little bit easier. Like, you see this button and your hands, instead of just, like, you go, well, I need to react to this and I need to counter hit. I mean, not counter hit him. I need to punish that right now. It's your brain sees it and it reacts to it because it's seen it so many times being drilled 30 minutes at a time. You know, you gotta, hey, this thing's minus 12. I gotta hit back 1-2. I gotta hit back 1-2. I'm buffering back 1-2 the whole time. You know, because I play King, so that's like my punish. But that's what I'm saying. So like while at the same time you don't want to be in an autopilot state, you do drill so that your autopilot is strong and that your answers are efficient. That doesn't mean you shouldn't deviate off that path from time to time, because once you become too efficient, you become solved. And if you're solved, you're, inevitably just going to be.
I really want to ask you guys a question since I brought up the labbing. We've all played fighting games for years, and I said it myself. Have you guys ever had the point where you're doing a trial, you're doing a combo, you've been doing it for an hour, and you regress in the combo?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I've had that happen. I've had that happen quite a bit actually, and it's frustrating. But go ahead.
This is what I was getting at, where once you start regressing, you have spent too much time trying to do it, and now you're trying to force it when your brain can't handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, the thing is, like, I remember I was like, I need to lab this wall combo. And I finally, like, I started to, like, chip away at it and, start to figure out how it worked, how, like, those buttons interacted with the wall. And I was like, okay, I'm starting to get there. I'm starting to understand it, but I was getting frustrated. I couldn't get it down. And then one day I, like, hit somebody with, like, the first, I hit him with 4KA, and that's Astaroth's wall splat starter. And my brain went back into what practice I did have from not landing it and autopiloted into attempting it, and I got it. And then after that, I took what knowledge I got in a bracket match back to training mode. Is like, let me figure out what my hands just did there, and I got it.
Yeah, I've had that. Actually, I've had that happen recently with Narmaya when she first dropped. I was trying some of her. She's got some wild like TK Crescent execution stuff. Execution. I mean, Granblue is, it's not that difficult for execution, but she's one of the most technical, if not the most technical character in the game. And I was trying to practice some of her corner combo conversions with her, and I was just having the hardest time. After like 30 minutes, I started to progress. I'm like, okay, I think I can land this like 2 out of 10 times, right? And then like an hour in, I was getting to like 3 or 4 out of 10. And then after that, I couldn't do it at all. And I'm like, I was just like, this is so frustrating.
That's exactly what I was gonna say, because it was exactly that situation. It was Narmaya where I started to understand, because like it can come to like second nature. Like Poison kind of has like really really long combos in Street Fighter 5, so I can do those combos. It's
She do have long combos.
Lucia, same situation. It's just like spacing dependent, but I can do those combos with Narmaya. It was like if I was trying to do, I would get it once and I'd be like, all right, cool, let's try and get it again. I wouldn't get it again. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And that's why I was just like, I don't know if this character's for me.
So what's wild though is that after that, I would like stop, practice something else, or just play some matches, whatever. And then the next day when I came back, I could get it like 6 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
And I had stopped practicing it, right?
That's
until
important.
the next day.
Yeah.
So there is that, there is something to the fact that your brain is kind of working that out even after a certain amount of time, even when you're not doing it, right? Because you're thinking about it subconsciously, it's kind of solidifying. Because I came back the next day and I'm like, I'm landing this more than I did yesterday. And I like at one point I couldn't do it at all after like an hour or so. And so it's very much about your mental HP and being able to recognize when your mind, even though you're physically like aware and alert, when your mind is just taxed out on trying to do something.
Right.
And there's one other point I'd like to make, getting into the more concrete side of things, and that fighting games is about winning, but getting better is never about winning unless you can specifically pinpoint why you won. So as Ham was saying, for the top player who's, blowing through all of their locals 95% of the time, if you're doing that, I want to be able to sit down with you and go through every single action you took, and I want you to be able to give me a reason why. Because if you can't do that, then you're not really trying to learn anything. You're just pressing buttons for the sake of pressing buttons. Now, not everyone has the ability to do that. So what you need to be doing with your Ls is, even though you're knowing that you're going to take the L, set a goal. Say, hey, this guy has jumped in on me a lot. I want to be able to anti-air him 3 times in this set, in this round, whatever. Just set that little goal, because then you're doing you're reducing your mental stack. Now, if you guys have never heard this term, I highly recommend that you go look up the Keats on Twitter, because he actually put out a tweet or a documentary, something like that, that talks about mental stack. So because when you come in as a new player, you have this big stack of things. You have to know your buttons. You have to know their buttons. You have to know your spacing. You have to know your inputs. You have to know your combos. You have to know this. You have to know your super input. You have to know this, this, and this. But once you do these 30-minute, 5-day-a-week things, this big stack is now this, because of what Ham was saying. You can now autopilot half that stack. And because you can now autopilot half that stack, you can focus on the big things that kill you, essentially. So if you
can make it a little bit easier to get yourself into a mindset where you're like, well, now I'm reacting to things that they might not have done already, because you don't have to think about their mix-ups that you already know how to beat. You just have to think about the things that they introduced that are new.
So to give you an example of the mental stack of anti-airs. So when you first start off, you have 1, you need to recognize that your opponent is in the air. 2, you need to recognize your spacing. 3, you need to know your character's tools. 4, you need to know how to execute that. There's 4 steps in anti-airing, and you have to recognize all 4 of those. So step 1, recognizing your opponent is in the air. Your question is, where am I standing? What button do I need to press? What time do I need to press this button? So if you need to learn those 3 last things, you need to go in the lab, figure out your tool set. So I'm just going to bring it back to Street Fighter 4, for example. So I played Guy. My 2 anti-airs were standing light kick and standing heavy kick. Light kick is, oh shit, they're too deep into their jump and I still need an anti-air, so this is my panic button. Heavy kick is, oh shit, I recognize they're in the air, they're going to take this beefy anti-air. But because I'm a new player, I don't know when to press either of those, so I end up taking the jump in. Shit, that sucks, but at least you recognized it. So I went in the lab and I realized those 2 buttons are the ones I do. Now all I need to do is recognize what's my spacing and when do I need to press it. So I took 4 steps down to 2. Then once I realize that those are down pat, I just need one thing. Are they in the air?
Yep.
Done. Press a button. As soon as they hit the air, I press the button, you're anti-aired. I no longer had to think about it. I just had to see that you're in the air, and I go, you're anti-aired.
Yeah.
Or you could do the poison crouch medium punch Street Fighter 5. Just, you don't have to think. Just press it.
You just do it.
The
God, I hate that.
It's somewhere up
so
there.
Good. +3? Come on, baby.
Oh, dude, it's great, dude. It's so.
I hate that button.
But I mean,
so
there's
much.
that. There's because there's still a thought process that you do. It's just like, do I just want to brainlessly press? Not brainlessly, but do I just want to reflexively press the anti-air button and then bam, we're back, like they're out of the air, or do I want to do the fancy anti-air into the big combo damage, because Poison has that. She's crouch medium punch, just gets you out of the air, you're back. Or maybe you do crouch medium punch into the B skill, side switch, but you're back. Or
yeah, but if you never practice, you'll never be able. If you don't practice, you'll never be able to even get to those decisions.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, like, that's consistent practice, whether it be actually in the training mode, whether it's application in offline play or regular play. Like, as long as those are conscious decisions that you're like constantly practicing consistently, that's how your brain really cements it,
And I don't want to sit here and preach that this is easy to figure out, because it's not. No. This is not easy at all. So I want to do what Seph did and go around this podcast and go, what did you guys do that you set a goal and overcame? My first one was when Soul Calibur dropped. and Dynamite actually really helped me. This was maybe week 2 or 3, and I realized that Nightmare's AGA was a really important tool, and I had to figure out how to do it because on stick it's a lot harder than on pad. So I sat down at Raid one day 30 minutes before the tournament and just practiced my AGA plinking with my stick because it's just a drag finger down you have to hit with your other finger. It's not easy to do, but it's very important. And he actually came up behind me. He's like, hey, man, you practice an AGA? I'm like, yeah, it's a really important tool. And I went back and watched the VOD later, and it was really nice because I attempted to AGA, and Dynamite was on commentary. He said, hey, it looks like NC was trying to do AGA. He was actually sitting down at local or in practice right before this tournament started, and he was, trying to get it down. So it's really cool that we can see him improve and try and put that improvement into his tourney. Now, I still lost, but that improvement was there in the match, and that's what matters. So that's my example for you guys.
I mean, you put me on the spot here.
Yeah, that's a really good question. As people know, I think I've played in one LowKick tournament my very first time showing up. I'm not really a tournament player. I do like playing long sets, but I guess for me, there are a couple of things where I'm always like, well, this is an achievement for me, and it's always something technical because in my mind that's like the hardest thing to do. Even though I consistently prove to myself that like I can do the technical thing, but for whatever reason in my mind it's like I'm not really good at the technical stuff. But then like I can do it, and I've done it, and it feels good to do it. So I think that for me, I can't pick out a particular point at the moment, but I will say that I am happy whenever I can get the technical side of things in a match. Like that to me, like if I pull off a Narmaya combo, that's really fun for me. I've practiced it, then I go to online and I'm like, wow, I can like. It's always reassuring because I'm like, wow, I can actually do this. Like, the character isn't too technical for me. To me, those are the things where I feel like that method of practice of doing it consistently, but not doing it too much where I burn myself out, and then it pays dividends in an actual match, those are the moments where this type of training mindset to me is like, oh yeah, this actually works.
I want to bring that back to what Ham and I talked about. Ham, you and I mentioned like, you play 30 sets against someone's better than you, but when you do that one thing, you're popping off. That's what it's like to me. Like you get that one thing. It doesn't matter that you lost 30 times. You got that one thing. You should feel proud of it.
Yeah, I think that if I could give you an example of something that I definitely I was pretty happy with, it was practicing hit confirms with Astaroth sweep. I think it's 1K where he does like the leg sweep, and on if it hits the second hit, it's obviously guaranteed, but you have to if it's blocked, and I did practice like being able to identify, did this connect? Can I hit the second button afterwards? And then after that, taking that and going, okay, drill. Eventually, I got it down to the point where, the second hit does wall splat, and I was like, okay, well, I need to lab out what happens when I do hit confirm this, and then after that, I need to lab the wall combo that comes out of it, and I have landed that one time in tournament ever, and that's it. I practiced it for like probably collectively about 3 hours, but I only did it once, and I was like, that was sick. That was so sick. And it's like, what is the reward, right? Like, what? It's like the personal growth. You're like, I didn't think I would ever be able to do that. But now that I have an understanding as to how this works, I can. And that's generally how I am as a player anyway, is that, like, I watch people who are better than me do things with my character that I can't do. And I tell myself, I can't do that. And over time, as I've spent more time with the character, because I'm a character loyalist, I only play one character in every game I play. I go, okay, well, I understand how these buttons interact with one another. Now that I do, I understand how to make that work. But that takes time, for sure. And sometimes the payoff is one tournament set, and I still didn't win that tournament. I don't even think I ran that round, but I got that combo off. I was like, damn, that was sick. And Zendo looked at me and was like, man, that last part wasn't even guaranteed. I was like, yeah, but you got hit with it, though.
Oh, man.
It was, for context, the last part of the combo is a 50-50 command grab, so.
Seph, you have anything?
Sounds about right.
hard. It's really hard to say because you guys are talking about like how practice is paying off and stuff like that. Whereas like I definitely do practice. I'll definitely like try to practice hit confirms. I'll try to practice like long or optimal combos or different situations. But in terms of like seeing it become fruitful, it's because the way that I process that information in training mode versus the way that that information is implemented in an actual match. Because my character archetype, as some of you already understand, and some of you stop. All right, so look,
You're trash.
Okay, so I'll
You've never played neutral in your life.
But to bounce off of that, right? So the neutral situation, okay, that's something that I actually do enjoy applying, and that I do actually feel rewarded for. It's not the actual like getting the big execution damage combo off. It's not like the crazy super technical stuff, because that's the stuff that I'm like practicing all the time, and that's I feel is one of the few strengths that I do have is like the technical stuff. If you were to say, hey, this is an $80 combo, try this out, I could grind that out in maybe like in a couple hours. But like when it comes to neutral, when it comes to footsies, when it comes to developing a basic game plan and actually like playing the ground game and actually having to put your mind at work and not just like press buttons and keep them on block so that way I don't have to think, that part is where I'm fully rewarded, is when like I get the whiff punish, or if like they stick out a button and then I just hit the button and I'm like, nice, that's so sick, you know? Or like I'm able to actually hit confirm something from the mid screen, like they stick something out, I counter hit it, and then I can dash in to continue my combo. That is way more satisfying than landing any sort of big, 80 damage combo. It's the footsies part, it's the neutral game part. That's the stuff that I don't practice enough, but that's the thing that I recognize as a weakness, and I recognize that's what I actually have to go to the lab for. It's not spending the countless hours and years and stuff of just doing these big combos. It's the little things like that. It's the basic stuff like that. And I need to go back and work on my basics, because that's the thing that I feel the most satisfied with when I actually do land that. It's just the whip punish. It's the footsie. It's the neutral.
I also want to bring up Ham. Who was the person that tweeted out the State of the Tekken video, the Korean video? Do you remember who that was?
He was a lay player. I actually don't know his name because my international Tekken viewing is pretty weak. I used to watch a little bit of Green Arcade when I was bored, but I'm not sure what his name is. I can give you a second. Give me 1 second. I'm just looking up Flying Wonky real quick.
I already got it. There it is. I got the video itself, so I'm gonna post this in the chat. The reason I want to bring this up, I unfortunately don't remember the timestamp or anything like that. But this this person goes over their mental stack while playing against Knee. And it's extremely important to understand at an even higher level, because this person breaks down why Tekken has degraded, because there's no longer these 7 or 6 scenarios that you get to play around at a high level. It's just now, I'm at this, I eat a 50-50. It's no longer, I can play around this, I can play around that. There's also this to think about. I can press buttons. Like, it's all gone. So this video will talk about the mental stack. There's a chart in Korean that he goes over, and it's really knowledgeable, even though, it's a little bit difficult to follow because reading subtitles and whatnot, because, I don't speak Korean. I don't know if you guys speak Korean. But it shows you,
I would say I'm pretty fluent.
It shows you the window into the high level players' brains, and I think it's incredibly interesting. And it shows you basically what you can do as a new or low level player to get into that higher level mindset.
Yeah, and that was just that video was super deep. I was watching it this morning as I woke up, and I was like, Jesus Christ, this is too much. But like looking at it, it was like them breaking down like the levels of even one, like a 2-option mix-up, maybe 3 options. It's 3-option mix-up, right? Because the mid, the high, and the low. But watching the way that he broke it down is like, this is what we have to deal with, was really fascinating. It's like, these are the answers to our problems, and these are the things. This is the next layer of, as we solve one issue in that mix-up. This is the next layer of that. And this is
he's showing you how to make 7-layer dip out of a fighting game.
It was fascinating. Like, I was like, I didn't even think that, it was that serious. Like, because I understand, the Mishima mix-up, but I did not know it was that deep.
Yeah, it's incredibly deep. So if you guys want to continue learning more about like mental stack and how to train yourself to become a better player, or even how to get into fighting games, please look up the article that I put in chat, and also check out that video on Tekken, because this is the time to get into fighting games since we don't have locals. You could just hit up training mode, hit up your friends on net play, and just
fuck that. Play that shit online, ranked only, immediately get your shit kicked in so you're familiar with it.
Yeah, and then
so you know what it's like.
Then stay ultra bronze for.
Well, obviously go to training mode. Obviously train. Obviously play casuals with your friends as well if you make friends through fighting games. But if you're like, I don't know, it's like just boot it up and understand what it's like to get your ass beat. Because that silent dude on the other side of the internet, he's not going to feel bad about pushing your shit in. And that guy that's sitting next to you when you go to your locals is going to feel good about it. And you're going to see it. You're going to get smoked and you're going to be salty and he's going to look at you like, yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've told Ham to hold that shit, bitch. Like,
dude, it hurts every time.
Like, I'll hit him with some stupid shit.
It's like, how am I going to say that I'm not a bitch?
Yeah, but like, okay, imagine it's the first time at the local. Ham sits down, he's fresh, he just drunkenly bought his first stick from Combo Breaker the weekend before, he's never used it before, and then he sits down, he plays you already know the Nightmare AGA, and he's just trying to figure out, anything about what Astaroth does, and then you get hit by some whack-ass mix-up, I don't know Nightmare, but then basically, like, right after the match, Ham feels so defeated because he spent no time in training mode, but he really likes the game, and then you just whisper in his ear, hold that shit, bitch. How do you think he's gonna feel, man? He's a fresh guy. He just got into it, and then you get up and leave the first time he's ever played against a real life person that wasn't his friend.
I could say that I've never done that because I've only done that to Ham as friends. But one of the first or second weeks during Soul Calibur's launch, there was I don't even remember. It might have been Nintendo, honestly. The man, the myth, the legend. There was a Grow player that I completely smoked. And instead of be like, yo, you suck, like you should probably go learn your combos. And I was like, oh, hey, dude, like I see that you have some fundamentals of Grow. Like Grow's a really cool character. Like if you want to learn more about like the Nightmare match, hit me up for casuals. Just give that friendly hand after like I just beat your ass and you have to hold that shit.
The way you worded it initially was just like, if you want to learn more about Grow, subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me.
Make sure that you hit the bell. It's really important. It helps the channel grow. It's funny. We were doing like in the pre-show, as I'll say, I was just talking about how YouTubers are like really obnoxious in their intros, and I gave like a full 5-minute YouTube intro about something that was completely off topic, and it comes back to the podcast. Yeah, it's already in there. Hey guys, NT here. This is how you approach somebody if you need to learn how to do something. But first, let's talk about our sponsors real quick. Oh god, I hate it.
All right, and since I'm already on the Soul Calibur tangent, let's talk about my man Haohmaru. Oh my god, this man's fun.
Yo, he's mad.
He's
cool.
Dude, this character is just so tight. I played it for 20 minutes. I'm like, this is the sickest character I've ever seen in Soul Calibur.
Yeah, I mean, like, I would say guest character-wise, I would say yeah. Because, like, let's go down the lineup, right? We have Heihachi, we had Link, we had Spawn. And Heihachi was cool.
Link was Altair.
Yeah,
yes, that was in Soul Calibur 5.
Well, if we're going up the lineup, right, we go to Soul Calibur 3. Who's the guest character for 3? Was there a guest character for 3?
I don't remember.
Kratos.
That was PSP version. That wasn't Soul Calibur 3. That was some special version.
And then we had the people from Star Wars.
And 4, Yoda and Darth Vader.
That was awful. That was terrible. I hated it. And I also don't like Star Wars, so it made it worse.
Yeah, 5 we had Ezio.
Way to reveal that one.
Yeah, Ezio. Yeah, that was a hot one. But anyway, and then
yeah,
6,
hold that shit.
Bada boom. We got Haohmaru. Oh, yeah, we just have 2B.
Yeah, we have 2B.
Gerald.
But Gerald.
Jerry.
Also,
Soul Calibur 3 had no guest characters?
I guess
I don't believe it did.
Yeah, now that I think about it, I don't think they did. But I know that Soul Calibur, one of the Soul Caliburs had like you could create a soul, a fucking devil Jin, and he was super good because like, he was ridiculous. But of all of those guest characters, I think that Haohmaru is the coolest because he's coming from, like a fighting game, a weapon fighter, traditionally a weapon fighter, and he makes sense. All of his tools have been transferred over in a really efficient way. They gave him solid mix-up options, which I thought was really cool. Everything that he has from Samurai Showdown that he would use in the neutral is actually effective, which is really nice. And the things that you would try work. You can do front throw into medium, into uppercut. It works. You can do reverse ring out combos the same way. It's really cool. And that uppercut launches them super high, by the way. So if it's any wall, they're out. If their back is the wall, if it's a short wall, if it's a medium wall, if it's a high wall, they're out. Who cares?
Yeah.
They're gone.
Absolutely. I obviously resident Haohmaru fan here. Here to tell you, no, I really do feel I was curious as to how they would bring the Sam show elements in, which I think they did great of the character, but then the extra bits of like Soul Calibur things that they bring in, like, so obviously his DP is the DP motion plus vertical, right, which would make sense, but he also has a horizontal high off of the DP motion that's just kind of like I call it the baseball swing. He comes in and he swings horizontally across. It's a high, so it's duckable, but it looks like it fits with the character. It's not a move where I'd be like, Haohmaru wouldn't do that, you know.
And it's got a just frame out of it and a wall splats.
Yeah. So like,
Dan, I need you to mention the most important thing.
Which one? Eason?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So 6'6" is the punch, and
it's 12 frames.
It's not just as it is in Sam Show too. Like it's
just as effective. Like you see somebody do something a little unsafe, you're already buffering 6'6".
I'm in there.
Yeah, get off.
Yeah.
It's like he's saying, that was punishable.
I got my sword and my sauce and my
Dude, that is the greatest. In English, when you pick Haohmaru, he legitimately says, "I got my sword and I got my sauce."
And I'm like, yeah, dude, yeah, get in there. He's drinking from the bottle. He's got what do you call it? He's got unblockable where he actually heals. That shit is sick. Like,
and he spits if you hold it.
He does spit.
That's plus.
It's plus.
Oh, actually, I want to shout out Zendo really quick. He figured out the coolest thing. If you get hit with the spit's a horizontal, by the way, you get a guaranteed punch for it, and it does 11 damage.
That's great.
The whole combo does 11 damage.
That's a round ender if I've ever seen it.
I'm serious. The whole combo, it's only 11 damage, but it's guaranteed.
Oh man, yeah, they have brought it. I love it. I wish I didn't have as much time to play him just yet. I'm definitely going to dig into him this weekend to play some matches against these two monsters on the podcast. But I'm going to get bodied. But I'll be getting bodied.
I'm going to play Astaroth. I don't care.
I'll play Haohmaru.
Bodied with your friends.
Yeah,
and me.
But I think he's done. And me. Damn. So you're not my friend?
No,
I won't body you. That's like me. Or I won't get bodied. But anyway,
the big things that I have to say is his in-game notation B plus K is his standing C in Sam Show, and they recreated the slowdown like big hit effect that they have in Sam Show. It is incredibly well done. It does 70 damage. And if you're unaware, 240 is max HP, so it does basically a third, if not more, of your life bar.
Yeah, and it lethal hits based on stat conditions. So no.
The lethal hit is off at deflect or GI actually.
That's
the stat condition is this 236B. It's like this shovel move where they like shoves up dirt at you.
Oh yeah, that's running medium, isn't it, for Haohmaru?
Where he shovels up dirt at you.
Where he just goes like this, re-stabs up.
You
usually get an uppercut off of it.
Running medium in Sam Show, running medium is just his running slash that he combos into DP.
I think that one is new to Soul Calibur.
Yeah,
but what Ham is getting at is all the power slash moves. So that's B plus K, 2B plus K, AAB. Any effect that makes that Sam Show slowdown effect gives you a stack. And as what Ham was saying is that, there are some characters that have their unique things. Like Amy's got a rose count, 2B's got her analysis point.
They finally patched in something where you can visually see these things, by the way. These unique stats, they have counters for them now.
Not all of them. So like lethal hit conditions don't have counters. So like Cervantes' bullets, 2B's analysis points. You still can't see that. But How does have two conditions. One at 3 points and one at 5 points. And he gets two options for the 5 points, I believe. But once you hit those, you get just lethal hits. And it's a really cool way to make you want to use the power slashes, not just in neutral, but in combos.
Yeah, and it's like it does. I've seen a lot of people trying to maximize the amount of. It's like when Cervantes, everybody found out about bullet combos. The most bullets you can get in one combo. People are really trying to do that, which I think is really cool. But I mean, Haohmaru, he has really applicable combos. especially wall combos that are good for power slashers. So you can stack them up and sometimes even release them in one go.
And I don't want to say this too preemptively, but I feel that he is overpowered as a character. He's got amazing frame data. It's disgusting frame data. His 4-4K is a super tech jump. It jumps over mids. It's a lethal hit on crouching. His while rising A is 30 damage, like 14 frames, covers good distance. His 6B is one of the longest range 6Bs, has amazing reach
and it converts.
frame.
And it converts.
It converts. His warrior's focus is a crouch dash that leads into a straight up mix up of hell sweep or mid horizontal. Like his soul attack rings out from mid screen as of right now.
They're nerfing that.
Okubo already said we're touching this. Like this cannot exist.
Because like that wasn't even like, it was really cool to look at. But it was not
laundry list, man. There's so many tools.
The thing that was interesting is that they brought other elements from other SNK characters into the game, because like his soul attack is essentially Deadly Rave. Like
he has Deadly Rave.
It's just it's got I don't remember Haohmaru ever having Deadly Rave. So like, what is going on here?
I don't remember Haohmaru having anything more. Anything more than a, what do you call it, a 3-hit combo. So
yo, Seph, I'm gonna hit you with a picture that I need you to put up on stream. Just try your best to put this. But his super is a pretzel motion, and this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, and everybody loves it. So if we can, to put it, if you guys know anime notation, I'll say it for you really quick. It's 3 4 1 2 3 6 4 2 1. B plus K.
Yeah, nice. You're doing calc too. Trying to do that.
So essentially, the way to do it, it's down forward, half circle forward, backwards DP. B plus K. And
I hate that. I hate that right now.
It's an alternate version to do his super, which for everyone else is just A plus B plus K. It does 80 damage, 84 damage. If you do that special input, that super special pretzel input, it does 5 more damage.
5 more damage. Just the style on him. Just like the soul attack. You've seen it.
5.
The soul attack. Wing, 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 wing. You see him flash move like 14 times. 5 more damage. Thanks, game.
Thanks.
It's ridiculous, but everything about this character is amazing. They kept his deflect. They've kept his blade catch. He has bare hand stance. He has spot dodge. Like he's got his Senpu tornado. Like, it's just, oh man, this character.
That Senpu and Soul Charge does so much damage in Chip.
He's got Rage Burst, he has E-Sen, he's got weapon flipping technique, he actually has Rage, like, oh man. They literally kept everything that he had in Sam's show and brought it over as faithfully as they could. I would dare say that this is the most faithful guest character I've ever seen crossover.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, the only thing that comes close in my mind is Akuma.
I was going to say, what about Akuma?
Akuma's really good, but he feels so different. Because, like, Haohmaru's combos are relatively short in Soul Calibur.
Here's the thing. Akuma does not feel like a Tekken character in Tekken 7. He clearly plays differently from every other character in Tekken. Haohmaru plays Soul Calibur.
Okay.
And that goes a long way, because people hate it when you bring in a character and it's like, this character does not play by the rules of everything else. Shout outs to, what was it, Injustice Scorpion? Yeah, I heard people really like that. Unblockable left-right mix-ups.
Also, shout outs to Akira in DOA. Akira was top tier in 5. I don't know what he did, because I don't know anything about DOA. I just know that character came in and was definitive top tier.
That sucks. Speaking of DOA, pour one out for DOA. They just announced 3 or 4 days ago that they are no longer patching the game. This is the version you get. So, I mean,
another character coming out, or like just got another character, like just really recently?
I know Mai and Kula came back. Well, Mai came back. Kula got added to 6.
No, they're adding. Okay, so they're adding.
Oh no, you're right.
They're adding the Aikido
you're right.
Character.
I forgot. I don't remember her name.
Yeah, I don't remember her name, but she's from the beach games that aren't important. So they're
no, actually,
no, they're the most
brand
important.
new.
She's brand new.
She's brand new to the entire series. It's not just that they added her to both games, but yeah, brand new character.
I just remember reading people are like, "Oh, I can't believe they brought her back" or something like that. So that's
at least
the only reason I saw.
I don't think she's returning.
But
either way, regardless,
that's the version you get, and then they're dropping a character, and they're like, she'll be fine. She'll be fine.
Yeah, like I hope you don't mind. This character's got infinites. Like you know, it's gonna be like an old school game. It's gonna be like Soul Calibur back in the day. Yeah. Soul Calibur is like, hey, we patched it. This happened twice.
You're gonna have
hey, we patched the game 2 or 3 times. Ever. This is the version you get. Hope you like infinites, bitch. Yeah. Viola in the house. Hope you like Hilda, bitch. Don't ban her though. Like that happened.
There was nothing wrong with Hilda. Come on.
Yeah. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Anywhere ring outs.
You see what Hilda did to Eris?
What do you mean anywhere ring outs?
It's literally anywhere ring outs.
Haohmaru's got anywhere ring outs.
He's got mid-screen ring outs.
Nobody's giving him shit about it.
Have you ever seen Tokido play Soul Calibur? I know.
So Hilda basically got ring out off of any confirm, whereas Haohmaru has to confirm soul attack. So
that it takes
to
confirm, anyway.
Dead or Alive is unfortunately dead, and a couple tours are unfortunately dead as well. Ham, I think you know more about that than I do. The tours.
In regards to tours that are as of right now, they just recently announced that Bandai Namco is basically putting a hold on Soul Calibur and Tekken 7 until at least June 21st. I think was the date.
Yeah, they did say June. Yeah.
They said June. So basically, like, if you have an event during that time, who cares? Because it's dead now. TWT wise, not saying that I don't care about the event outside of that, but I don't think anybody's going to be holding their events regardless. But Tekken and Soul Calibur officially, and it really sucks. It's a huge blow to Soul Calibur, because their Soul Calibur is always the redheaded stepchild to Tekken. I think, in my mind,
the runt.
Yeah, it's the runt of the litter. Like, you can tell that the amount of effort that is put into Soul Calibur from Bandai Namco has always been second to Tekken. So then you go, hey, well, here's like a kind of okay world tour. There's some stops. There's not many. It was already really meager in comparison to what Tekken was doing, and now it's got to try to climb out of a hole of the majority of its events getting canceled. And we're all holding out for Evo, right? Like, we all are, even if we don't want to say we are. We're holding out for Evo. But the international travel is going to be completely bodied. So if Evo's done, Soul Calibur World Tour is probably just indefinitely canceled, if not like just done, before it could even start, and that's a real shame.
Yeah, the worst part is this was the first year, and it already got bodied.
Man.
It hurts me. Now, mind you, this is coming off the coattails of me just saying DOA is no longer getting patched. That really sucks. But I mean, like, they were having a lot of, they had a lot of really gross, like, microtransaction practices, enough to get into the attention of, the YouTubers who have shitty thumbnails and make trash videos that no one really cares about but get upset about anyway. I was seeing, it's Twitch, so we're safe. I hate his videos and I think his content is trash. But he did make he made a video talking about how much he didn't like the microtransaction practices, and I was like, well, if it's gotten to his ears and he's like a AAA fanboy and it's DOA, obviously it's pretty egregious, because that's like all he cares about is talking shit about Konami and Activision. But DOA had all those really bad practices, and people were really unhappy with the game as it was. Like, I saw Rakudo tweeting about it quite a bit. But Chicago does have the only world champion for Dead or Alive 6 living in its home. And he's got the final version of it too, because, like, that's it. Shout-outs to Hoodless.
Shout-outs to Hoodless and having the most complicated CFN name to type in, because it's Hoodless backwards.
Oh,
and you don't know where the 0 is.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez.
Oh, man.
At least, Rip Dead or Alive, at least Virtual Fighter's coming back.
Is it actually coming back?
Well, it's believed to be.
It's teased, but I don't think it's confirmed.
Sega's been putting fucking Virtual Fighter in Yakuza for a few years now.
Sega put the thing out saying the return of a legendary series. We're announcing
it's Sonic.
And they have like the silhouette of Akira and other stuff. I don't know.
Pour one out for Arc Revo, because that definitely got canceled.
Yeah, Arc Revo in its entirety actually also got completely canceled.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, while we're on the topic of Arxis, right?
Yeah, let's try and get back into a positive note. How we always end our podcast.
It's a roller coaster ride, but we're trying to end on a high note.
High note, low note, high note, low note. Now we end on our high note.
That's a crescendo, baby. All right, so while we're on the topic of Arxis, we've got we
got the Djeeta.
Oh, that's a yeah. Well, anyway, we have the
Djeeta. I don't think the D. It's just Djeeta. It's like Django.
Yeah, Djeeta. Yeah.
Derek Djeeta.
Djeeta Unchained. All right, I'm really excited. My favorite Tarantino production.
Really
sick.
Wow, Seph's like a bigot confirmed.
What?
Damn.
What? I like
right.
Djeeta and Django. All right. Anyway, all right. So yeah, we do have the Djeeta trailer on lock, so we're gonna show it off to you. Shut up. I like Djeeta. Okay. All right.
Bigot.
So anyway, let's play this trailer. All right.
This is the first time I've seen it.
Okay.
I've seen it once, and I don't really know enough about the game to be excited, except for one part.
But this is your first time seeing it?
Yeah.
You guys wouldn't know I'm crazy on it, but I don't play much Granblue. I don't play as much as I should. But I like have a basic understanding already of knowing that her system looks pretty good. She is a little bit different from Gran. A lot of people were expecting that she's going to be like nearly identical.
She's got the same anti-airs, dude. What do you mean?
Okay, yeah, it's looking like a Rue versus Ken thing.
Yeah, it is a Ryu Ken type of situation where like their specials do tend to have like different. They look like they have different properties, especially since she doesn't have boots, so she has Rekkas instead.
Who does come off of a Rekka? She just has the slashes.
Yeah, so she does have the. Okay, yeah, but you can also. Wait, do you always have to just?
And now here's the thing that I wanted to talk about: Deadly Rave.
Oh yeah, so she does have Deadly Rave, which is sick. The input for Deadly Rave, thankfully, it's not like pretzel motion or crazy garbage like that. It's just like you just do the button sequence and then you get it. So
Yo, how are you guys getting these inputs early? What the hell's going on?
Okay, well they did the translation because her move list.
Well, Jayuna does a breakdown, and the Granblue versus EN account does a breakdown as well.
Yeah, so they do a translation.
The Japanese page will have the moves up, so they translate. Jayuna and the Granblue English account does.
Yeah, so
shout out to Jayuna.
Shout out to Djeeta. So we do have a full understanding.
Damn.
That's what I'm waiting for.
I'm thirsting right now.
Zoe, hey,
God damn it.
Damn, man. Come on, man. I'm just trying to have a constructive breakdown about Djeeta, and you're simping for the next character, man. Let's slow it down. Okay? Djeeta's pure. Djeeta's cool. I like her move list. She looks like she can, move forward really strongly the same way that Gran does. Because Gran has infamous Tims, but it doesn't look like she has the same thing. Let's see. But I really like that.
She has the charge fireball though that she can follow up just like that right there. So and that can actually Gran's medium fireball. He swings the sword up to either hit or cancel a projectile and then shoots the fireball out. But her charged one should give her room to run in. She doesn't necessarily have boot, but we don't know the range at which her slashes start either. Like, we don't know how much ground she covers because when she does the slashes in this, it's already in the corner. Notice that they didn't show her having a wall bounce though. So I'm wondering if they either took wall bounce away from Gran, or it's just that she doesn't have one. She has more like of a Narmaya thing where she does slashes in the corner and the character kind of hangs in the air and she can follow up off of that.
She does have a ground bounce though, so it does.
Well, that's off of a counter hit anti-air into her unique. So that crack shoot is her unique. It's like Gran's power raise. And if you notice, that's the purple level. That's the level 5 charge on it. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that's from level 5 charge or just because she got counter hit on her 2H.
Yeah. The only thing I can really contribute to this is that the charge fireball really reminds me of Gunflame from Guilty Gear.
So
like running it behind Gunflame.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's sick. Like, I really like the philosophy of being able to run it. I mean, like, Kai can do it too, but it is sick that she has.
You know who's got the sickest run-in projectile? My man's Gael.
He can't run in from. Well, he can. I guess he can.
Yeah, he can. He can dash in like 50 times after he does slow boom.
V-skill.
But that's not a run,
But that's not. Yeah, exactly. That's not running. Djeeta's running at you.
That's the equivalent of running.
Soul Bad Guy is running at you.
Dashing isn't running.
I think that Djeeta.
Because you can dash block. Yeah, running, exactly. You have to run stop.
Yeah, when you're dashing forwards, you get breaks.
when you're running in Granblue, you have to hit the brakes, and then there's the animation for the brake hitting. Then hopefully they don't punish that. But regardless, I think you're right, Dan. I think this is a level 5 charge. Because Gran has the invincibility when he does his, right?
Yeah.
Does his level 5?
So like I said, I'm not sure if the ground bounce is from level 5 or if it's because she got an anti-air counter hit off of her crouching heavy.
Yeah. Or that's just how the animation is. Like, that's just the color that's going to be for it. Like, we don't know. But she does get a ground bounce, which is really cool. I hope that that's like a consistent thing. That would just be awesome.
I think the coolest thing about this character is that she's going to be releasing with Sora's on the 9th, which is going to be this Thursday. And for anyone who is interested in LKO,
The 7th.
The
7th, my bad. All right, my bad. But either way, they are releasing this week. And if you're interested in playing Granblue and LKO, they are going to be legal.
Yes. Yeah.
Very legal.
Because it's him. Because
Stop! Hey, somebody shoot him off the podcast right now.
That wasn't even a reference. Y'all are tripping. That wasn't what it meant.
Dude, oh, you lucky with social distancing.
Damn.
That's
not what it is even about.
So close to breaking quarantine, man.
I just said no looting.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. She looks sick. I really like her style. I really like her. I don't play Granblue, so I didn't know anything about this character. But seeing her come into the game, look at Soares, dude. He just armor through it all, dude. What a badass.
Yeah. So whenever a character trailer drops, I'm hunting it down. I'm waiting for Giunia or the Granblue English account to drop the translations. So, and I obviously rock the captain too. So I do play Gran. I'm gonna check out Djeeta. I'm more excited for Soares, but she looks cool. Like I saw the Daily Rave stuff. I was like, that's sick. So you know, I'll definitely try her out. Maybe she will be more my style than Soares. I don't know. Soares doesn't have a Dragon Punch, so everybody on the podcast knows that, you know.
Soares has an install.
He does have an install, which is really sick.
He does have a really sick install.
I'm going to try out both.
It is so cool. This Deadly Rave is so badass. I don't play anybody who has a Deadly Rave, and I've never done a Deadly Rave before, so I'm really excited.
I too.
Deadly Rave is fun. I used to play Rock Howard, so.
Deadly Rave will always be one of the sickest supers. Also, shout outs to my man, Terry Bogard. Busta Wolf.
Shout outs to
shoot.
Dude, this is Busta Wolf. Come on.
Wait.
Alright.
Oh, she does have plus, no. But she also has crack shoot. You know, and she's got the Burning Knuckle. Wait, does Burning
There's
Knuckle
only one Burning Knuckle in my heart, and it's King up forward 1+2.
Oh, Terry's is just Burn Knuckle, not Burning Knuckle, so.
Oh,
damn.
Oh,
He's exposing you as an SNK scrub. You suck.
Yeah, it's just Burn Knuckle.
Oh, is it just Burn Knuckle? Oh,
yeah.
Somebody tell that to
the English translation.
The English translation. It's Burning Knuckle.
Damn, that's where you get your Terry Bogard information. Wow.
I'm saying that's the most recent KOF. That's the most recent. Oh no, he's in Smash too, but I don't play that.
All right, so that's gonna wrap up this week episode of EX. Seph is a fraud. He doesn't know anything about Terry Bogard and SNK. He doesn't know pretzel motions. He doesn't know Deadly Rave. In conclusion, Seph is trash.
Yeah, Seph's trash. See you guys later.
But that's actually going to be our official wrap up. Do you guys have any final words over this week's topics?
You know, I try to find some places to enjoy fighting games with people, even though we're social distancing. You know, play them as much as you can. You know, and really do it for your enjoyment, especially at this time. You know, we posted the article about training mindset, but even if you're, you know, like, man, this whole situation we're in is putting a lot of mental pressure on me and I just want to play and relax, that's fine too, right? Like,
most of us have been playing casual.
Yeah. So, but you know, if you want to continue and keep that serious mindset, check out the article. But, you know, I just want to say a lot of, you know, depressing news has come out, but also try to grab onto the gyms that do make you happy, FGC related and not, and you know, just do everything you can to add positivity to your day, because the negatives definitely going to be there, guaranteed. So find those little gems and hold on to those, and take care of yourself.
All I can add on to that is find friends that can help you with fighting games, especially if you are not in the LowKick Discord. Please go ahead and join in there. I'll put the link in chat. And on top of that, we do have a channel in the LowKick Discord dedicated to all the Chicago Discords. So if you're looking for a specific game, a specific community, you can find all the invites in there. You can hit up basically anybody in any of those Discords, like, yo, I want to learn this game, or, you know, whatever, and you'll be guaranteed to find someone who's like, yeah, dude, let's learn this game.
Just don't do that thing that one guy did from, like, I think it was the Dengenki Bunko, that just called Christian in the middle of the day, and he'd never talked to him before in his life. Hit him with a personal on Discord. Don't do that. Don't be weird. You know what? If that's my that's my final takeaway.
Don't be weird.
Don't be fucking weird. People will like you. If you are attempting to be weird, people will not like you, and they will talk shit about you behind your back. If you just so happen to be a little weird, I'm weird. You know, I'm a little weird, but I'm not trying to be weird. I'm just weird. But if you're embracing being weird to make people uncomfortable, enjoy not having any friends. That's all I have to say.
Damn.
I'm gonna,
Seph?
bounce off of some things that Dynamite said, some things that Ham is trying to say. More or less just like... And also, like, a lot, it's like a kind of a culmination of what everybody's saying. It's about, like, we're social distancing, but we're not socially, like, cutting things off, right? We do still have our friends, we do still have our ways to connect. So they're different, they're not optimal, but we're still trying our best to stay sane and stay connected and stay together and optimistic about this, and not trying to say, like, you know, if you are who you are, like, that's fine, right? Like, don't be inappropriate, don't do it at anybody's expense, but try and find a pocket of friends that is going to help you through the really rough time, because who knows how long this is going to be for the foreseeable future. I know that a lot of you really reliably went to your local and that was your social experience, and if that's kind of just gone for you, it's really going to be rough. But we're here. The LowKick Discord is just like a nice hub for really cool people. If you want to, you know, kind of spread your wings in there, try to reach out. We play a
There's some random guy that just streams Half-Life 2 in the middle of the day. No one watching. Join him.
It's a network, you know. We're all, you know, the whole FGC and the gaming community, obviously, we're a network of people and a network of friends, and we're all willing to talk about the things that we like. And if you're honest and you're open with who you really are, and it's not like at anybody's expense or really like offensive or anything like that, like, what Ams means is just like, don't be hurtful, and then you know, you'll be okay. So if you're in our community and you want to be welcoming and you want to be wholesome, you want to be just, you know, welcomed in return, we're more than willing to do so, because we like to talk to people and we understand that everybody's dealing with stuff. We're all dealing with something right now. So please feel more than free to join our community. Feel more than free to reach out to a community that you like, whether it be like, I'm not trying to meme right now, but like, if Animal Crossing is your thing, whatever, if a fighting game is your thing, feel more than free to reach out to that community. Find your home, find a little social pocket that you can just stay comfortable in and stay sane in, because that's what.
And then don't abandon them after, you know, when it's all said and done and we can all see each other. You know, if you're Animal Crossing homies, hit up your Animal Crossing homies. You know,
I would dare say about half the Chicago fighting game community is playing Animal Crossing right now.
And it's really,
I hate that.
The Chicago fighting game community has really blended with other fighting game communities, because Animal Crossing has, like, we have this one Discord that we're all in. So like some of the West Coast people are in there, some of the Florida people are in there, like, we're all just in there playing Animal Crossing, going to each other's town. It's like really, really cool. Whatever your pocket is, whether it be Doom, Animal Crossing, Persona.
Yo, you can hit me up for Doom. I will talk
hit
to
up
you.
NT for Doom.
Oh, yeah.
But whatever it may be, there is a community out there. Whatever, if your local scene was your hub for socializing, definitely consider online. Like, there's Discords for everything. There's a community everywhere, whether it be Twitter. You have so many avenues to find somebody and some group of people. We're all here, and we're all more than welcome to have you. So that's the takeaway. Also, I've loved Terry Bogard since I was a child. Okay, I know all the things.
Wow! No, fuck that. You have one final word. It was be good to one another. Fuck your Terry Bogard defense. You're out.
Crack
Cut
shoot
the
is
stream.
so
Cut the stream.
sick.
Cut the feed. Damn, he's controlling the feed.
I really like this stream. Thank you guys for having me.
And he's still trying to top.
That's been the EX
So,
podcast.
last thing I'll say is Seph is a fraud. I'm the one wearing the Terry
Goodbye,
Bogard Busta Wolf shirt, so I'm the true SNK fan here. But piggybacking on what Seph was saying, if you guys even want to reach out to any of us personally, you can feel free to do so. We all have Twitch, we all have Twitter, through the Discord. You can DM any of us. You know, we'd be more than glad to help and, you know, introduce you to the whole community. And if you guys want to do that through this podcast, you could always hit up us with questions or topics through the EX Saturdays Twitter at EX Saturdays or through email exsaturdays@gmail. If you want to find me personally, you can find me at Twitter at NC1 Evolution and Twitch NC1 Evolution _ Put that in chat.
You can find me at Super Dynamite D on Twitter and twitch.tv/Super Dynamite D. I'm taking a streaming course on Pluralsight, so I'm gonna try to get that together.
Cam, you want to plug your socials? Where can the people find you?
The people can find me anywhere. I'm everywhere at all times. But you can find me at twitch.tv/LKHamJams. I'm gonna be streaming Persona 5. You can. It's too late. I already did. Who cares? Fuck him. Fuck Atlas.
You can't,
Fuck him.
bro.
I don't give a fuck. I'm whipping it out.
No, not like this.
And
There's a monster in that stream, so I'm sorry.
you can.
I can't.
Dude, you just can't stream till like chapter 3. That's it. That's the limit. It's gonna take me hours to get there. Anyway, you can find me at twitter.com/@hamharder. @hamharder. Just look up @hamharder. I'm going ham as hard as I can.
By the way, we don't condone Ham saying fuck Atlas. We love Atlas.
Definitely don't know.
We'll edit that in post. Anyway,
We're not editing shit.
Me, you can find me at twitch.tv/Seph Mitchell. I have been streaming kind of the week of Animal Crossing. I was streaming nothing but that, but now it's kind of like brought me back into the regular schedule of streaming anything. I'll be streaming Resident Evil later on today night. I'll probably be streaming Monster Hunter sessions with these guys later on as well.
Hey.
But I stream a number of things. So feel more than free to tune in. We just chill. It's like another avenue to just talk to the LowKick boys too. But you can also see me on Twitter, twitter.com/Seph Mitchell. I basically just post I try to be as positive and wholesome as I can because that's just the appearance that I have. And
That's what the FGC needs right now.
yeah, that's just what we need right now. So I'm just gonna try to, post some wholesome content, post highlights from the streams, post, put everybody up, and just a platform for my homies, basically.
And of course, one more shout out. We do have LowKick Online Week 3 ready to go. There is the Smash GG. We're featuring Skullgirls this upcoming week with Kai Kennedy and Mike Z as commentators, so be sure to sign up for that. If you don't want to play in the tournament, at least show up on Friday. It'll be around 7:30 CST, so you can catch that here on LowKick eSports. And it's also going to be on Seph Mitchell. It'll probably be on which direction? Ham's channel for one of them. And it'll also be on Free Hectic. And we'll, of course, be putting tweets out for that. So other than that, you guys have been great. Be sure to tune in Friday for LKO. Be sure to tune in next Saturday for more EX Saturdays. And most of all, thanks guys for watching.
Yep. Take care, everybody.
I love you.
Yeah.